Hi guys, you alright? Hope you're good. Hope you're well. Robin says hi. Fish says meow, which was expected. Hope you're good, Fish. Ikram says 66 hate watch incoming. You said it, not me. Hope you're good. Fish says meow. How many times is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 meows. To add on to the one meow previously, that totals 8 meows. Fish's uncle says shush. Doge says hi, how are you, Doge? Hope you're good. Hope you're doing well. Fish says, have you new vids? As in uploads? Maybe. Can't remember. How you doing, Bagwell? Fish's uncle is very similar to Fish, so the apple does not fall far from the tree. Doge is very observant. Is very observant. Did you come out of the shower? Your eyes are red. Yeah, maybe like half an hour ago. I don't know why my eyes go red. Like I don't get like shower gel in my eyes, but they always go super red. I don't know why, but that is accurate. Yes, maybe the red shirt doesn't help. But yeah, hope you guys are doing well. Fish says, "What vids did I tag?" You know when you tag me on your videos, Fish, I don't get like I don't. It doesn't inform me of that. I have to pretty much go check it manually. There was the diss track that you did of Harry, and then I think you did a few diss tracks of Harry. And then you had like a top 10 players. Well, I gave you an answer and you said answer it sensibly. And I was like, wow, okay. I can't remember. There was a first diss track that you did, and then there was a second one. And my mind goes blank after that. It's some PFA award thing today. Hopefully Salah wins a trophy. What the F? Morgan Rogers. Morgan Rogers is the PFA Young Player of the Year. Based on what? I mean, he wasn't that good, surely. Was he that good, Morgan Rogers? I mean, I thought he was fine and all, but to win the award over Gravenberch is a bit surprising, should we say? Yeah, Salah better win this award, cause let's be honest, he's not gonna win the Ballon d'Or. So at least this will be something. Ben says, "Why is Hugo not there?" I mean, I presume this is a ceremony for last year. So you got McAllister there. You got the Arsenal players there, hoping to win something for the first time. I got no clue who this is. Declan Rice. Van. Van- why does why does Van Dijk look like a hitman? Van Dijk, is he wearing Isak's glasses? Maybe that's a sign. Is this match kicked off yet? Oh, they're taking their damn time, aren't they? Do you think Adidas F50 laceless go on in the future? As in, do I think they continue? Well, what do you mean? What's the context? Probably. I mean, if they sell well and it makes the money, then they probably would. Fish says pushing on your body like Abdullah Decore. Thank you very much. The General says good evening. How are you, the General? Hope you've been good. Yeah, Real Madrid's goalkeeper kit looks exactly the same as Liverpool's goalkeeper kit. I appreciate they're both Adidas, but even even the shade of green is a bit too similar. Michael Cheek is the PFA League 2 Player of the Year. Good for Michael Cheek. I'll admit I have no idea who Michael Cheek is. But yeah, we'll see if Salah wins anything. Fingers crossed. Waiting for this match to start. Bellingham's not playing. Shoulder surgery apparently. Fish says, "Where is he? Where is who?" That is the question. And they finally kicked off. Fish says, "What do people hate? Tell me. Is this the video you've uploaded?" I don't know if I can access it on this machine. How are you, Cengiz? Cengiz says, "What is this? Real Madrid versus Osasuna." Cengiz says, "Everything okay?" Yeah, not too bad. Pretty good. How about you? Yeah, I'm trying to find your video, Fish. Oh right, yeah, you've tagged me. What is it? It's like GTA. It's like a GTA clone that you're playing. Um, for mobile. Cengiz says, "Is Arda Güler playing?" Yeah, I think so. Yeah. You see this here? Arda Güler's on the left. Oh, according to this, he's on the left of the midfield. Wonder. Doge tried to buy a fish without teeth, but they didn't let me, bro. They didn't let you. That's a bit odd. I mean, what kind of fish was it, and what were you intending to do with the fish? Were you gonna eat it? Were you gonna keep it as a pet? These are the important questions. Cengiz says that's not Gula's. That's not Gula's best position. Where would you play him? Would you put him in the middle? Would you move him from here? Would you put him where Shuameni is, or would you put him on the wing? I think he's one of those players that does better when he's further up the pitch. Doge just wanted one without teeth, no reason. Fair enough. I'll resist the urge to make any profane assumptions. How you doing, Oliver? It should be coming up there. But does it not come up on the screen? It's Real Madrid versus Osasuna. Curious how 66 was gonna do. To be honest, he'll probably do okay. Yeah, it's a bit hidden. TikTok's a bit weird. I think it kind of zooms in. I think it kind of zooms in a bit more. But Cengiz is saying he can see it. You'd rather say Gula on the right side. Who's on the right side? Oh, they've got Valverde on the right side. Fish says, Mane red card. What's your response? Pretty much no response. Who does he play for these days? It's like which Saudi club does he play for? Al Nasser. It says Saudi Super Cup. Sadio Mane sees red against Al Ittihad. What did he get sent off for? Dangerous studs up tackle. It would appear. Cengiz plays soccer. Very nice. Of all the things to play, there is a good game to play. Samuel says Man United should sell Bruno Fernandes. I'm with you on that. We did like a keep, sell, buy thing for Man United during the summer, and I was saying they should sell Bruno Fernandes. I got so much flack for it, but like for me, it didn't kind of make sense to build a new team around him. So I would have sold him. Yeah, they need to sell Casemiro. I agree with you on that one as well. The only trouble is kind of what kind of money would they get for him? But I agree. I'd probably look to get rid. Diogo Dalot, I think, is okay. Yeah, they might as well sell Harry Maguire. I mean, Harry Maguire is not getting into the team. Even on the weekend, they played 3 at the back, and he rather what's his name? Amarim rather put Luke Shaw at the back. Xerxes, yeah, again Xerxes you'd sell. But like, what would they get for Xerxes? Not much. Similarly for Luke Shaw, I agree that they need to sell a lot of these players, but they probably wouldn't get much for them, which is probably the downside. But I do agree with you. How you doing, Dale? Hope you're well. Dale says Madrid to win 3-0. Yeah, I'm expecting some sort of high scoring game and some sort of reinforcement as to why the Premier League is the strongest league. In the Premier League, we don't have these kind of fluff teams. Cengiz doesn't play anymore. He's 54. But did you play when you were younger? Was it something you used to do when you were younger? Hi, you, Jenny. Keep Murray. I was gonna call him Murray Maguire. Harry Maguire. Beginning you so much go down. Love it. Do you mean they'd get relegated? Do you mean they'd get relegated if he went down? How you doing, Mark? Mark says is Gahey coming? I think so. The latest I've seen on that is, I think they're just a few million pounds apart. But I think it will get done. Mark also thinks that it will get done. Yeah, probably. I'm more concerned about the front line now, because we seem to have sold two of our main players, in Diaz and Nunes, and now we've sold a backup as well in Ben Doak, or Ben Gannon Doak, as he wants to be known as. So that leads me to believe that they've got something up their sleeve. But yeah, I'm hoping Isak deal can get sorted as well. How you doing, Pixel? Pixel says, mate, did you look at FPL this week? I looked at it on the first day. Everyone was telling me that they got like 50 points. And I had a look and I got like 7 points. And they were all because of Salah. I killed it. I had like 7 points, but to be fair, this was just on the first day. I haven't checked it. Let me have a look. I remember everyone was like, "Oh, I got 40 points. I got 42 points," and then I logged on and I had 7. I got 71 points. How have I done that? What the hell? 71. That sounds like a lot. Because I just had 7. I had 7. When I logged on. Nah, that's crazy. Who got me 71 points? I'm top of the league. What the hell? I literally did this as a joke. I just created this team because of peer pressure, mainly from Pixel, or should I say solely from Pixel. I was gonna call the team Pixel Made Me Do It, then I just changed it. Where's the rankings? Here we go. Oh yeah, I'm like second place. Team Smurf is in position number 1. I'm number 2. Where are you? Are you position 6? Not bad. At least I'm not last. Like I was. I was concerned. I was concerned about coming last. That's pretty good, you know. Can I retire like in? Can I do like a Sam Allardyce? 100% win record. I'm loving that. Dale got 87 points in FPL. Dale is also killing it. Most of my points came from Haaland, by the looks of it. I genuinely don't know what I'm doing with FPL. I don't know what a captain is. I don't know anything. It was just because Pixel was talking about it, and I said, okay, I'll give it a go. That's pretty good to see. Cengiz used to play football until 44. That's still good, to be fair. That's still pretty good. Jenny says, why do Liverpool want player? What said never play for Has team again? What player are you referring to there? Harry says, hello, how are you? I'm good. Weather is sorting itself out, so you will not hear any more complaints from me. How are you? Yeah, I see Fish has started meowing, says Harry. That's the first thing he said. Actually, before I even went live, there was a comment from Fish that said meow. I think that's what he was saying on your, was it Need for Speed stream when you were trying to win a race, and Fish just kept meowing. Oh God. Harry did not slap you. That's not the type of thing Harry would do. See, Harry's busy. Harry's busy pulling a girl. But so is Fish. Jenny says, glad Sonny is not on here as he does not know anything about football. I'm genuinely puzzled. I'm genuinely puzzled what happened to Sonny. I'll see if I can find him somehow. Dale says, bro, I heard Dale, so I joined. Fair enough. Captain doubles points. I see. The thing is, like, I didn't captain anyone, but it automatically captained Haaland, I think. But yeah, pretty fun. The thing is, it's only downhill from here. Literally what I did is I just stuck like all the best strikers in it. So I got Salah, I got Haaland. Foolishly, I also got Isak, but I think Isak's gonna move to someone and then play. And then I just fit players around those. That's kind of why I called it top heavy FC. I just bought the best strikers and then filled in the gaps with anybody. Harry's good. Fish is also good. I think is Fish copying what Harry is saying, because Harry has said I'm alright, thanks. Fish has said I'm alright, thanks. Harry has said yes. Yep. Fish has said yep. Yeah, there's two Dales. One is Everton Dale. What is the other Dale? That is the question. Jenny says a Crystal Palace forward. He wants to go, but he still played against Chelsea. Isak wants to go, but refuses to play Newcastle. What disgrace. Why do you want him at Liverpool? I mean, I want him at Liverpool because I think he's an amazing striker. The behavior is a bit naff, The behavior is a bit naff, but equally they're gonna get like 130 million, so that kind of cushions the blow. Apparently, he also told them a while ago that he wanted to leave, rather than kind of stringing them along until the last minute. So I don't think he's solely to blame in any of this. I think the Newcastle side could have maybe been a bit better prepared. I got no clue what that means, Fish. I also don't want to ask. Harry says, "Has Sonny retired from your streams?" And then Fish copied that. I don't know. He just disappeared, but I hope he's okay. Fish says, "Name the family members of Fish." Well, we have Fish. We have a Tupac Fan TV. And then Borussia Dortmund, which is your auntie, I think. Fish is still just copying whatever Harry says. Harry, I think you need to say something mean about Fish, and then see if he copies it. That is the trick. Okay, I managed to get it working. So this is what I've done. That was my team. This stuff at the top, like triple captain, bench boost. Can you do those every single week, or is that like once a season? Yeah, Haaland got me 26 points, but this doesn't add up to 71. 26 for Haaland plus 8 for Salah, that's 32, 33, 34. Okay, hold on, I might do 44. Keaton says it's twice a season. You get one of each for the first half of the season. So these are like the perks these are the perks I can use along the top. Interesting. I'm surprised Real Madrid haven't scored yet. They're just passing the ball around, Cengiz. Jenny says, what if he does the same for Liverpool, signs for Liverpool, Real Madrid come knocking, and he says, I don't want to play Liverpool again, I want to go Madrid. What would you say then? Same thing. I'd be like, okay, if Madrid are going to give us 130 million, goodbye. If you don't want us, we don't want you, goodbye. Where I get annoyed, or should I say the kind of one permutation where I get annoyed, is when players run their contract down and leave on a free. That annoys me. But if... as an example, if McAllister said, next season I want to play in Spain, I'd be like, all right, fair enough. We'll get, I don't know, 70, 80 million for you and have a nice time. That's the difference. Harry's not impressed with Fish's diss tracks. I'm a bit curious as to kind of what kind of track Harry's gonna put together. But yeah, I've learnt something about FPL. Harry says, "Fine then, 4 more days until I release my diss track." Are you? You said, are you coming back on Thursday? So you just need 1 day to prepare it. 1 day to prepare a response. Fish seems quite happy about that. Oh god, this is the funniest beef ever. I can't lie. Doge had Isak. I just transferred him out. Also had Umbuemo before he went to United. So I had to transfer one out due to having more than 3 players. Lost four points for the next game. That is annoying. How many points did you get in the first week? I got 71 points, which is apparently good. My team is kind of rubbish. Like, I got Isak. He's on the bench. But when I created it, I literally just started with Salah. Then I got Haaland. And then I just randomly picked players. The thing is, I don't think I'll keep it up. So I'll just enjoy this week whilst it lasts. Doge got 30 at bottom of the league. The positive is it can't get any worse. There's only one way up. Harry says, a quick question: where did we get the beef from fish? That's a very good question. That is a very good question. If I remember, I was playing a game. I think it was Doom. And then Fish commented saying, "I've created a diss track for Harry," and I was like, "Why have you created a diss track for Harry? Harry's literally the nicest person." And then he said, "Me and Harry are rivals." And I said, "Rivals, rivals over what?" And I didn't believe it. To be fair. And then I forgot about it. And then a few days later, he said it again. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go have a look. And sure enough, there was a diss track. But only, I think only fish can truly answer what the beef is about, should we say. Is Fish the new Sunny? Like, yeah, I guess a little bit. But Fish's beef is directed purely at Harry. Fish said your mom. Yeah, it could have been Silent Hill. It could have been Silent Hill or Doom. After Silent Hill, I played Doom, which is pretty good. Jenny asks, who are you saying that to? Probably to me, but it could be to Harry. You never know. Also, there was fish for dinner, and guess what? I didn't eat it because I respected you, fish. I mean, that is a high level of respect. I can't lie. Fish hates Harry Maguire. As in, are you calling this Harry Maguire, or Harry Maguire that plays for Man United? Still 0-0 in this game. Real Madrid not looking particularly threatening, if I'm honest with you. Harry says keyword respected. So past tense. Dode says it's been too cold today. I'm still finding it too hot. Whereabouts are you? Are you in England or somewhere else? I'm still finding it a bit hot, if I'm honest with you. I appreciate today we had quite a significant change, but it's still a bit too hot, if I'm honest. How you doing? Hello, champion family. Hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Let's go, Osasuna. Agree 1,000%. The game, it's been a bit cagey so far. To be honest with you, Real Madrid haven't really done much. 66 hasn't really messed up. But yeah, there hasn't been any major chances. But yeah, I hope you're good. Yeah, KG is definitely the word. I would have expected a bit more action, but that's life sometimes. Doge is in Slough, very nice. Is that like near Heathrow? Is that near Heathrow Airport? Possibly. But yeah, so you're in England as well. So yeah, this I think the heat wave's over now, thankfully. It's still a bit hot, I can't lie, but I was gonna say I'll enjoy it whilst it lasts. But yeah, looking forward to it getting cold. Fish and frites, aka fish and chips, are Chengiz's favourite meal. I can't lie, that is pretty good. Derwood's been watching just late to the stream. The game yesterday was much better. Is that the Everton? Was it Everton? Everton Leeds. I didn't watch it, but I randomly checked the score. And when I checked the score, they said there's a penalty, and that's when I started watching it. Unless it's a different game. Yeah, 100%. Madrid seem to have more possession, but nothing to shout about. They're not really doing much with it. They just seem to be kind of passing it sideways and I mean, they're trying, but nothing's really coming. Nothing's really. They're not really finding much success. Dode says, when it's hot, it's too hot. When it's cold, it's too cold. There's never a middle. Yeah, I hear what you're saying. The thing is, if you made me select one, I'd rather it was too cold, because then I can just kind of wear more layers. But when it's too hot, then I can't say I'm a huge fan. Jeremy Frimpong Enthusiast says, I'm so confused why Rodrigo keeps getting a bench by Xavi. Who knows? Do you reckon he could be off? Do you reckon they might be selling him and keeping him fit? It could be anything, really. I mean, they've got Diaz up front. I'd rather play Rodrigo over Diaz. So it is a bit peculiar, all things considered. Harry says it's going to feel quite cold when I get back because I'm used to the heat. Yeah, it will be quite the shock. It's not too bad. Like if you're coming back on Thursday, it's about 20 degrees, so it won't be too bad. But yeah, compared to like the 35 degrees you've been having. Is that the Everton game where you're saying that was never a handball? I didn't actually see the handball. When I logged on online, that's when they said there's a penalty. So then I quickly went to watch it. But I heard some people were quite annoyed about it. Yeah, Leeds Everton. Anything to watch Everton fall. Yeah, I'm surprised Jack Grealish didn't start. I think he came on towards the end, didn't he? Osasuna defending very deep. 66 with a cross, but it gets headed out. It reminds me of the Man City 2023 season. Side to side, waiting for the break. Yeah, very patient play. Side to side, looking for a bit of space. Goes to 66 again. 66 again, fails to cross the ball. Just hits it right into the first player. Osasuna cantering. 66 is jogging back. Osasuna attacking down 66's side. Throw in. I don't think so, because the Savinho to Tottenham is off. Good point. I wonder what the reason is then, because surely he's better than Diaz up front. Oh yeah, I was looking at that. The PFA. We were having a look at that earlier. I saw Morgan Rogers won the Young Player of the Year. Have they announced the? What they giving him an? What are they giving? What are they giving him an award for? Merit award. What merit? Just as how's the rodent doing? Not particularly well. He's had a few crosses, but like he keeps crossing it into the first man, if you know what I mean. So his crosses keep getting blocked. He's standing over a free kick, whips the free kick in, headed away. So yeah, I mean he hasn't kind of particularly been standing out. But to be honest, kind of none of them have, if I'm honest with you. Still no. For being a sub, probably, yeah. How you doing, Daniel? Hope you're good. Hope you're well. There have not been many highlights in this particular game. I think it's coming up now. It says next up is the PFA Players Player of the Year. I mean, it has to be Salah that gets it, surely. Harry says, "Where's Fish, aka Lucas, aka my rival?" There's another one. There's a Borussia Dortmund as well. How you doing, Hugo? Hope you're well. Diogo is saying, "Look at Isak news. Look at Isak news. He's come out about it." Well, if you say so. Is that on his Instagram? I'm not logged on to Instagram on that. Oh my god. There you go. So we have a look. I just copied I went on Instagram, just copied the picture, pasted it on this browser. It says, "I'm proud to be recognized by my fellow professionals with a place in the PFA Premier League Team of the Season for 2024-2025. First and foremost, I want to thank my teammates and everyone at Newcastle who has supported me along the way. I'm not at the ceremony tonight with everything going on." Okay, so hopefully the everything is qualified in a bit. "It didn't feel right to be there. I've kept quiet for a long time whilst others have spoken. That silence has allowed people to push their own version of events, even though they know it doesn't reflect what was really said and agreed behind closed doors. The reality is that promises were made and the club has known my position for a long time." So kind of literally what we were saying at the start of the stream. "To now act as if these issues are only emerging is misleading." Wow. "When promises are broken and trust is lost, the relationship can't continue." That's interesting. Oh, you guys can't see it. Let me see if I can scroll up a bit. "The relationship can't continue. That's where things are for me right now, and why change is in the best interests of everyone, not just myself." Wow. That's I am never going to play for you ever again. Just let me go. Well, he's saying there that he made his position clear several months back. Or not even several months back. a significant time period ago, and Newcastle have just ignored him and not done anything about it. So like at this point, what more can they do? What more can they do other than sell him? Because here's the thing: if they just keep him around, number one, they lose out on a lot of money, which they need because of their PSR constraints. Number two, if they just keep him around, they then don't have a striker they don't have a good striker. And number three, if they just keep him around, any foreign player is gonna see that and not want to join. Like I don't know why nobody's made this link. Like why do they think that like Sesko and these people are not joining them? Because they're seeing the Isak situation and they're saying, I don't want to play for that team because when this happens to me in 3 years, like I don't want to be stuck in the same position. It's quite funny. I genuinely think by keeping him, they're screwing themselves over. because as we said, they're not going to get any money. They're not going to get Isak playing for them. And they're not going to be able to kind of recruit an adequate replacement. If Sesko sees that, and let's pretend Sesko's not there anymore. Sorry, let's pretend Sesko hasn't moved yet. But if Sesko sees that, he says, I'm not going to Newcastle because that's how they'll treat me. Similar with Ekitike. If they see Isak being treated like that, they're not going to want to join that team. I don't understand. Like, they seem so stubborn and so insistent on ruining the future of their club over one striker. It's sabotage to the extent of which I've never kind of seen before. It's not a win if they keep him around. It's not a win if they make him rot in the reserves at this point. I think they're jeopardizing their own future at that point. What are these horrible things people are saying? Elliot to Newcastle. The thing is, we need to like keep as many players around as we can at this point, because the squad is looking so thin. With kind of Diaz going, with Nunez going, with Ben Doak going, or should I say Ben Gannon Doak? Like I am a bit concerned we're selling too many players. Hugo Ekitike says PES 2020. Have you ever played it? It's a decent game. 2020. Is that before it became eFootball? I don't think I might have done. I used to kind of play PES back in the day. But I think I might have downloaded it and given that one a try. Diogo says, I think that will push Newcastle over the edge. Yeah, at this point, it's like the longer they leave it, the worse it gets for them. For me, like, Newcastle are not in a position of power. Isak is in a position of power. And the two kind of byproducts of that are Liverpool and Newcastle. Hugo says Gakpo, Isak, Avert, Salah, Mac, Grav, Kirkes, Virch, Gehi, Frimpong, Alisson. Now that's quite the rebuild. Jerry Frimpong says, I hope he does come to us, though. Yeah. And I'd like to think that this is what they're planning, because the attack is looking pretty thin. If you think about it, there's Gakpo, there's Salah, there's Ekitike who's new, and there's Chiesa who's on the fringes. That's it. So there's a pretty big gap in the attack. And we're even selling kind of backup attackers now in Ben Doak. So I hope this is all a situation that's manufactured for Isak to kind of slot in there. Hugo says, where else would Isak go? And I think Diogo Jota's kind of answered that. Nowhere. I don't think there's anyone else in the mix at this point. Like realistically, like who would there be? Like not Real Madrid because they've got Mbappe, not Barcelona because they ain't got the money, not Arsenal because they've bought Gyökeres, not Man United because he probably wants European football. I think there's only one possible club. F1 says, how much is our offer again? There was a rumor that we gave about 110 ish. I reckon they will probably go for about 120 and add-ons, and that will get it done. At this point, like, because you remember there were rumors earlier in the season and nothing happened, and then we were saying, okay, now the ball is in Isak's court. Now he needs to do something. At this point, he's doing all he can. So I think this will probably pick up speed quite soon. Hugo says, Ayman, glad you're live again. One question, are you live on Friday for the Chelsea West Ham game? Yes, Friday 8 o'clock. Yeah, I shall be here. Diogo says Salah's named the PFA player of the year. Nice. Let's have a look at that. There could only be him, right? There you go. I like how his shirt and tie combination match the background as if this was all planned. But yeah, kind of fully deserved, as Jeremy Frimpong is saying. Who else? Yeah. Diogo says the king has his crown. Yeah, another crown. after the crown he got a month or two ago. Hugo reckons Chelsea will win a solid 2-0 on Friday. I think that's a fair assessment. Chelsea will want to come out a bit stronger after the whole after the first game where they kind of drew 0-0. And I don't think West Ham had the best first game of the season. So I think that's a fair assessment. Hugo says Ekitike coming on as a super sub for Isak. If that happens, will you change your username? Let me know if you change your username again. Is there a world where they could both play? Like, could Ekitike be on the left and Isak up front? Or would Ekitike be the sub? Yeah, one of many crowns. So Ageti says Man United will win. Trust the process. What process is that? Let me know, so then I know not to trust that. Hugo reckons Wolves will get relegated. What do you think, my good sir? I think that's a good prediction. Wolves were not particularly strong last year. And additionally, this year they've lost quite a few good players. So they've lost Cunha, they've lost Aït-Nouri. And who did they play? Who did they play in the first game? Was it Man City? And they lost 4-0 at home. Yeah, they would have to be. They would have to be one of the favourites. Where's my mouse cursor gone? What's going on? Oh, God's sake. There you go. Player 4-2-4. Yeah, that's possible. That's certainly possible. Especially against the teams who play a very low block. Essentially, take one of the midfielders off and put an extra striker on. That could work. what are you doing in a zoo holding a trophy? I'm multitasking in two places at once. Yes, Salah has won the award. I like how it's got his name engraved on it as well. I don't know if you can see that at the bottom there. See if I can zoom in a bit. That's pretty cool. He's gonna need a bigger trophy room at this point. And now I can't zoom out. Hugo is saying Alisson, Kirkes, Virgil, Konate, Frimpong, Gravenberch, McAllister, Wirtz, Ekitike. And then your final two, Isak, Salah. That looks like a pretty good team to me. That looks like a pretty good rebuild as well. All things considered. I would say the team overall is probably stronger than it was last year. And it's probably younger as well. Apparently Wirtz is younger than Harvey Elliott. I didn't know that. Diogo saying, I don't know about that to start the game though. I guess it's a positive in some ways that like you're spoiled for choice. You know what I mean? Like it's a positive. I see it as a positive. I guess in terms of how they'd start, it would probably depend on who the opposition was. Like if it was Man City, it'd probably be different to if it was Wolves or something. But there's flexibility there, and there's lots of different options. So it also kind of keeps the other team guessing as well. Whereas when you play the same formation and the same tactics every single game, it becomes a bit predictable. So, I mean, having multiple systems is a positive. Jeremy Frimpong says, personally, I'm not dropping Gakpo, as in you keep Gakpo in the team. Gakpo is one of those players who like always seems to score. Like he always seems to get a goal. Like even if he isn't kind of quote unquote playing well, he always seems to get a goal. The Chelsea fans are crying that no one made the PFA team. What after their amazing fourth place finish, which they scraped? I mean, what did they expect? This is proof, right? Nobody really cares about the Club World Cup. Is that the thing that they won? Well, there's the proof. We don't even remember. But is there like a? We'll see if there's like a full squad. Dale saying, "What's Isak said on Instagram?" There you go. Do you want me? I'll put it on here. Just to, I'll see if I can move it up for you. The interesting part is probably like the second half. Yes, so he's basically saying, I'm proud to be recognised with a place in the PFA Premier League team, and I want to thank everyone for that. And then it probably gets interesting from the third paragraph onwards, where he says, I'm not at the ceremony tonight. With everything going on, it didn't feel right to be there. What is this everything going on that you're referring to? I've kept quiet for a long time whilst others have spoken. That silence has allowed people to push their own version of events, even though they know it doesn't reflect what was really said and agreed behind closed doors. So there, he's kind of taking a bit of a jab at Newcastle, I think. Because he's saying it's either Newcastle or the journalists, but it's probably more Newcastle. So he's saying, we agreed things behind closed doors. I've kept quiet and now you're lying about it. That's what that looks like. The reality is that promises were made and the club has known my position for a long time. To now act as if these issues are only emerging is misleading. So he's basically calling Newcastle liars to sum up. When promises are broken, trust is lost, the relationship can't continue. So he's calling Newcastle liars and he's saying, I'm not going to play for you anymore. And he's saying, yeah, let's just move on. How you doing, testers of life? Yeah, I'm good. We're just reading the Isak news where Isak has basically called Newcastle liars. And he's also said that he's not going to ever play for them again. So that's a positive. But yeah, how are things with you? Good result for you on the weekend. 1-0 win against United away from home. So a win's a win. But yeah, I'll try leaving that up in case kind of people haven't seen it. Try see if I can push that up a bit. There you go. See if I can catch up. Diogo was saying, what about Rio? We can't lose out on that talent. He's generational. Yeah, I really like Rio. I would have liked to have seen him play a bit more. I appreciate it's only been 2 games. But I'm hoping like he does get he does get an opportunity to play and to play in the Premier League. But yeah, super excited about him. Very direct. A lot of people have said he reminds them of Raheem Sterling, which I understand. But he's definitely got a better shot on him. Hugo says we've got a decent squad depth. I think especially if we get a couple of these signings in. Virgil, Canate, Gomez, Robertson, Italian kid. Yep. Leone is looking pretty good as well. He's apparently 6'5", but there's pictures of him standing next to Alisson. And he looks significantly taller than Alisson, so he might be over 6'5". Leone might be the only guy who has ever understated his height. And how much did we pay? Like 26 million? So yeah, excited for him as well. 26 million is pretty much nothing these days. Taster Tester says, deep down, I knew that was going to happen. Arsenal just couldn't get a rhythm going. True. I thought like a lot of people will say kind of Man United dominated the game. I thought it was kind of even. I felt like it was a bit more even. But ultimately, kind of getting the goal and getting the 3 points is probably what matters. Otherwise, I'm good. Sunderland had a great win. Yeah, very true. Nice little win for Leeds as well last night. So kind of some of the teams who were rumoured to be at the bottom of the league are doing pretty well. He'll 100% get game time in the cups, maybe some Prem games here and there, yeah. I think that's fair. So like on the EFL Cup, FA Cup, maybe come on as a sub. The only thing is I want to see him come on as a sub when we need something, you know what I mean? Not just when we're winning. But I think that will happen with time. Second half's about to start. 66 does not look happy. Leone said he's 1 centimetre taller than Virgil. He looks like 1 inch taller, I'd say. Diogo says we need to start bringing him on to see out games to help him get better in the intensity of the league. Yeah, I think that's a fair assessment. Kind of build up his physicality that way. Sicily Man says 100% he's going now. Is that in reference to Isak? Yeah, I think so. Basically, to kind of sum up that I was going to say paragraph, but to sum up those paragraphs, he's saying Newcastle have lied. The relationship is broken. I'm not playing for them again. And it's in the best interest of everyone if you just let me go. So, yeah, I'd say 100%. Which makes sense because there is a giant gap in Liverpool's front line. So yeah, Isak number 9. Probably. Leone 6'4.5" or 6'5", yeah, something like that. CJR says, "Hi Hugo, I love you, mate," and Hugo says, "Thank you." Taster Testers says Liverpool are playing Newcastle on Monday. What are your thoughts there? Ah, yes, the Alexander Isak derby. I think we're away from home, but even then, I think there's just too much noise and too much anxiety around Newcastle at the moment. I mean, even in pre-season, they didn't win one game. So they failed to win a single game in pre-season. They drew their first game of the Premier League. I think it's a good time for Liverpool to play them. Ironically, I think once kind of Isak goes, not even an if at this point, once he goes, then I think they'll get a bit more confidence and then I think they'll start playing better. But I just think mentally they're probably they're not in the right place because of the situation. So all things considered, it's probably a good time to play them, especially away. Virgil 6'4", 6'5" Leone 6'5", Kanate 6'4". Is Isak 6'4"? Isak can't be 6'4". Isak, we'll look it up. Alisson 6'3". You forgot Gakpo. Gakpo 6'4", and yourself as well. Yes, Hugo Ekitike 6'4". Mamadashvili 6'6". Mamadashvili is probably the biggest one. He's like 6'6". That is massive squad, to be fair. I don't think Joe Gomez is particularly short either. Yeah, you got all these giants and then you got Frimpong. Poor Frimpong. Gonna see Isak in the away end singing the Kaiser chants at St James's Park. Or if there's a last minute winner, for Liverpool and he comes running onto the pitch celebrating, that'd be funny. Isak is 1.92 meters. That sounds pretty tall. So you might have been right, to be fair. What's that in feet? That sounds very tall. (6'3", I think. Close enough. Yeah, he's pretty tall as well, Isak. Liverpool 2-1 against Newcastle. Thoughts? I think that's probably a fair prediction. What do you think? Thinking about it now, do you reckon Newcastle will score? Do you reckon Newcastle will score? I think they might struggle. I think maybe 2-0. Kind of thinking about it. I think Ekitike will get one. Ekitike seems to pretty much be on fire at the moment. Oh, and I think maybe Salah will get one. Hugo Ekitike says, "Start all the tall guys, see what happens." Yeah, just lump the ball. Just lump the ball up top. There's a penalty here. Mbappe is going to take it. Yeah, that's the thing. Alexander Isak, pitch invading when we score a last minute winner. He would be, that would be pretty crazy. Especially if he invades the pitch in a Newcastle shirt, and then he rips off the Newcastle shirt and there's a Liverpool shirt on. That would be funny. NP19 says, "Good evening. How you doing?" NP19, hope you're good. Have you seen the Isak news? It's pretty exciting. Yeah, another Peter Crouch. Peter Crouch might be the tallest one. Mbappe penalty. Mbappe scores. Sends the keeper the wrong way. Peter Crouch was massive, like 6'7", I think. Gordon get an equalizer before half time, then Chiesa, another Chiesa winner. That could be nice. Diogo Jota says, "I've just seen a picture of Kirkes, Van Dijk, Salah, McAllister and Gravenberch at the PFA Awards. Very nice." I'm surprised Gravenberch didn't win the young player. Morgan Rogers over here won it. Arsenal have won something. Oh, that's just I was going to say participation trophy, but that's a bit harsh. But that's the trophy they get for being in the team. Salah looks super happy, as you can imagine. Taste the Tester says, "Has Newcastle even added to their squad?" I think they've bought one player, Jacob Ramsey. They've bought Jacob Ramsey from Villa. I think part of the issue Newcastle have been having is they've been trying to buy a striker. So I think they were in for Hugo Ekitike, but Hugo Ekitike said no. I think they were in for Sesko as well, but Sesko ended up at Man United. My kind of theory is that the Isak situation is perhaps discouraging kind of a lot of foreign players from joining, because I think they're seeing how the situation is unfolding and they're perhaps thinking, okay, I don't want to be in Isak's situation in 2-3 years, so I don't want to go there. That's my theory as to why they've been struggling to recruit. Because as a team, I mean, they're a big team, so it must be something else. Gomez is 6'2". Okay, still pretty tall. Peter Crouch, yeah, Peter Crouch was massive. Courtois 6'7". Wow. Peter Crouch has got like proper long neck as well, so that just makes him look even longer. Diogo says, Chiesa last minute winner was mental against Bournemouth. Had me jumping out of my seat. Yeah, it was pretty crazy, especially because it was a volley as well. It just makes it so much better. Oh yeah, fair point. Yeah, fair point. I forgot about Elanga. Jacob Ramsey, that Malik Thior, that defender. Yeah, they've bought a few players to be fair, but they just seem to be struggling to sign a striker. Oh right, so is that why he didn't win the PFA award? Because I was a bit surprised that Morgan Rogers won it. But P5AM says he's a bit too old for that now. Fish is saying hi, no VAR. I don't know, to be honest, if there's VAR or not. Is there no VAR in this Madrid game? Durwood says, if Newcastle don't fix their situation, they'll go down in the next couple of years. That would be insane. What would that mean from them, from an ownership perspective? Like, I can't imagine the Saudis will wanna will wanna still own them if they're in the second tier in the championship. I think they just need to move on from this Isak situation now, because I think the longer they're stubborn about it, I think they're only hurting themselves. Because I think mentally the team can't move on until he's gone. Taster Tester says, who would fit as a striker at Newcastle anyway? Hugo says Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins is an option. I mean, I think Ekitike would have been good for them, but that didn't work out. I think Sesko would have been good for them. That didn't work out. At this point, there's not many players left on the market, which I think is their issue. And it all comes around, the whole thing is a circle in a way, because Isak is saying over here, if I can kind of zoom in a bit, I've zoomed in too much, but he's saying they made promises long ago that they haven't stuck to. And so in effect, by not sticking to their promises, they've let the situation drag on, and they've let all the other top strikers go to other teams, and now they're a bit stuck. It's like, I don't know, they got to the restaurant early, but they didn't order any food. They just sat there for 12 hours, and now there's no food left. And it's like, what else can be done at this point? But yeah, Ollie Watkins is a good shout. We should have got Delap and let Ekitike be main man. Is that Delap to Newcastle? As in the one that Chelsea got? Hugo says who scored for that club, Madrid? It was Mbappe penalty, but I just realised my time at the top is completely wrong. Yeah, Mbappe penalty. To be honest, they're not looking all that. If I'm honest with you. Yeah, Wissa, yeah. They're trying so hard to get Wissa and are getting close with Brentford. Yeah, I mean, apparently Wissa's completely cleaned out his Instagram profile, and he's kind of removed all mention of his existing team. Search Van Hoot. Who is Van Hoot? 2.08 meters. $6'10". Oh my god! I thought that said 5'10" for a second, and I thought, yeah, that's fine. But like 6'10". Nah, look at him. He's like literally as tall as the goal. Look at that. That guy's massive. It's like having the Undertaker in goal. Look at that picture. I mean, he doesn't even need to like dive. He can just stand there and, stop quite a few shots from going in. Oh, right, that's what you were saying. So Liverpool should have kept Ekitike as their main striker and got Delap as the backup. I get what you're saying. I think the flip side of that was Isak seems to kind of really want to come, and it's not too often a case where one of the best players in his position wants to come to your team, if that makes sense. I think if Isak didn't want to come, then maybe they would have gone down that route. But it just seems like a situation that they had to kind of take advantage of, because it's probably like, I don't know where people would rank Isak, but would we maybe put him in the top 3 of strikers in the world? It's probably a rare thing for someone who's a top 3 striker who wants to come to your team. So I think that's why they're saying, you know what, let's do what we can to get this done. Diogo doesn't want Delap. Hugo says, have you got this before? I slept last night and woke up this morning with neck pain and still have it. It has happened to me in the past. Like, it depends. Like, sometimes it depends like how you position your pillow. So sometimes like if your pillow's at an angle, then your neck's at an angle. So that has happened to me. But yeah, hopefully that goes away by tomorrow. Diogo says, yeah, he's removed Brentford from his bio, and every post about them too is pushing for it. Yeah, that's probably what will happen. I think Isak will go to Liverpool. I think Newcastle will get Wissa. It is ironic, isn't it? The fact that Newcastle fans are fine with Wissa's actions, when it's not really a world apart from what Isak has done. My kind of stance on it is the longer they drag it out, they're only hurting themselves, because their club kind of mentally seems stuck in a rut, and I don't think they can get out of that until he's gone, and then they can move on. A good suggestion there from Durwood regarding the neck pain. Saying, Hugo, if you got a fan blowing on you at night, it could be from that, or even a window open can cause that. That's a good suggestion. So it could be those things as well. Could be the pillow, or it could be the fan. Hugo is saying, I do have the fan on every night, so it could be that. It could be that. I think Durwood may have cracked the code here. The good thing is it is now getting a bit colder in the UK. So to be honest, I have the fan on as well because it's proper hot. But the good thing is you got it on now. I think we might have found the culprit. Might have found the culprit. Fish is saying hi. Cengiz is saying, what's the score? 1-0 to Real Madrid. Kylian Mbappe penalty. Taste the Tester says, personally, I feel that strikers should be sourced elsewhere instead of the usual top 6 leagues. Because there is talent in other small leagues. Yeah, they are really good examples of that. You think about Vinicius. Vinicius, I think, came straight from Brazil. Messi, I think, Barcelona. I think they bought him straight from Argentina, I think. Julian Alvarez is probably a good recent example where Man City, instead of waiting for Julian Alvarez to go to Spain first, they just got him straight from Argentina. So I think if teams kind of scouting networks and things are up to standard, there is value that they can find. Durwood says, if it continues, see a doctor. This is about the neck pain. I let mine go and I've had 4 neck surgeries because it was serious. Any numbness, see someone right away. Yeah, better to be safe. I think just keep an eye on it, and then yeah, hopefully it goes away. And if it doesn't, then yeah, best to get it checked out. Drum says, do you think Liverpool will sign anyone after this? Yeah, I think Isak and probably a defender from Palace. Probably those two, probably. Hugo wishes Liverpool could go for some youngsters from the Brazilian leagues. I'd like that. Instead of paying like 60-70 million to buy them from Europe, just buy them straight from the warehouse. Get them straight from the warehouse. Instead of buying retail. Fish says, how good was Van Can? Emre Can, I mean, he was fine. He was decent. He left on a free, but I remember being crossed by 66, cleared. I remember not being too fussed that he left on a free. I mean, he was okay. I'd say he was probably okay. Cengiz says Mbappe is the best striker. He does get goals, to be fair. Hugo says, if Wolves do end up getting relegated soon, we should get João Gomez. Yeah, we should probably do a bit more of that. You know, when teams get relegated, buy their players for a cut price. 66 rating is 6.6 so far, and additionally to that, he's coming off now. He's being hooked. He's being hooked on the 67th minute. Carvajal's coming back on. I mean, he didn't really do much, to be honest. Well, that's one more game done for 66 before he ends up at Aston Villa in 2 years. Taste the Tester says it's time for a holiday, Hugo. A holiday does cure a lot, to be fair. Fish says, is Mankio and Cody a traitor? I've never felt like Mankio was a traitor. Kind of Cody a little bit, purely because how much he celebrated when he played for Everton. Like, he'd always score against Liverpool for Everton, and then he'd always celebrate like he won the World Cup when he scored. The funny thing about that was his goals would always get disallowed for whatever reason, but yeah, I think he celebrated a bit too hard. Hugo says we should get the 6'6" striker Voltemade. It's the German guy, 23-year-old player as a backup. We're building a team of giants. I've not seen too much of him. I've seen a bit of him for Germany, but from a striker perspective, I reckon they'll get Isak and then probably stop. But who knows? Fish says, yay, Chenga's all-time best striker, Romario. Romario was good. You had Romario, and then you had Rivaldo, and then you had Ronaldo. But yeah, I think Romario was more 80s, I think. 1980s. Where do you think Elliot will go? I'm not sure, you know. There's some rumours that Leipzig might be interested. Oh, but you know what? I'd kind of be happy for him to stay, because I feel like we might be losing too many players. You know what I mean? Yeah, there's rumours about Palace, so like Eze might go to Spurs, and then Elliot might replace Eze or something. I wouldn't mind him staying. What are these guys? Eating to get so tall? That's a good question. Maybe they could share their secrets, not just with us, but also with the fellow players. But yeah, Liverpool do really like their height, don't they? Do really like their tall players. Like back in the day, like 10 years ago, the tall players used to be so slow. But that seems to be a recent trend where the tall players are kind of quite fast as well. Jim says, are you a Liverpool fan? Yes, indeed. How about you, Jim? Tupac Fan TV says, how's Fish? Well, he is your son, so you should know. Diogo would love it if Elliot stayed. He loves Elliot so much. But if he left, I only want the best for him. Yeah, he's one of those players who, as you said, like sometimes when players leave, you don't want them to do well. But I think if Elliot leaves, I think everyone would want him to do well. Jim is Arsenal proud gunner. Nice. So Jim supports the same team as Taster Testers, both Arsenal fans. Good result for you on the weekend. Nice 1-0 win away at Old Trafford. So it's good result. Are you happy with that result, or would you have wanted a bit more? Hugo says Van Dijk is nearly taller than Mamadashvili. Yeah, they're similar. I think Mamadashvili is currently the tallest one in the team overall, but a lot of them are like very tall. That is true. The taller players, they take longer strides, which allows them to kind of cover the ground a lot easier. Because I'm Greek, I also support Panathinaikos. Very nice. What are your thoughts on Kostas Tsimikas? He plays for Liverpool, or should I say Konstantinos Tsimikas. So yeah, we've got. I think he's the first Greek player we've ever had. I think. But yeah, we have one Greek player. What happens to Phil Jones, says Hugo. Did he retire? That's a good question. He seems to have disappeared off the face of the earth. You know, someone else who's disappeared off the face of the earth? Joel Matip. Whatever happened to him? He retired and then he said, I am not about this life anymore. Goodbye. So yeah, quite a few people, or quite a few players retire and then disappear. Which I understand, to be fair. Skamaka is 6'5". We should get him. Yeah, I think our main requirement now is buy all the basketball players. How you doing, Dan? Hope you're good. Dan wouldn't want Isak at Liverpool. Isak is a disruptive player. I hear what you're saying. I think the flip side is if you cast your mind back, kind of Van Dijk kind of did a very similar thing when he joined. Modric did something quite similar when he wanted to go to Madrid. Like, whilst I see the point, I think the flip side is if Newcastle had just, I feel like his hand was forced to a certain degree, because according to this, they had an agreement, and then Newcastle went back on that agreement. And I almost feel like if Newcastle had stuck to their word, then things would be a bit more positive. But I understand where you're coming from also. Diogo says some players, when they retire, they just want to chill, do their own things. I understand that, to be fair, without the media on them, 100%. Taste the Testers is off. Enjoy the rest of your day as well. Take care. Enjoy. Have a nice evening. Jim says he's good. He just needs some game time. I suggest go to teams like Stuttgart, Elche, or Betis, or even to Greece. This is Tsimikas. Yeah, I think Tsimikas. He is good. I think going forward, in particular, he's very good. I think his crossing's very good. Free kicks are quite good as well. I think he just needs consistency. I think a part of the issue, perhaps, at Liverpool is he'd be in like for one or two games, and then Robertson would come back in, and I think it's hard. I think it's hard to build up like rhythm and consistency when that happens. But he definitely has quality. There were quite a few times kind of last season where I would have rather Tsimikas played over Robertson. I preferred him. But it's like 50-50. So like Hugo says he prefers Tsimikas over Robertson, but Diogo says never. So it's 50-50. But I still think he's a good player. He's in the prime of his career as well. Jay is saying he signed a 6-year contract. We have no reason to sell. I think you have every reason to sell, kind of given the context. I think the noise that this is creating, I think it's actually hurting Newcastle more than it's benefiting them. I mean, if you look at pre-season, they didn't win a single game. I think at this point, they just need to sell him and kind of move on. It feels like they're kind of stuck in limbo with this kind of hanging over them, and I feel like unless they sell him, they're going to be stuck in limbo the whole season, because he's made it clear there that he's not going to play for them anymore. So if they keep him on the bench, again, that doesn't really solve anything, because number one, they won't get any money for him, which I think they always need, especially with PSR and all that. Number two, they'd suffer on the pitch because they haven't bought in a replacement striker. And number three, there's a risk that any foreign players will look at that and say, you know what, I don't want the same thing happening to me, so I'm not going to go there. So it doesn't make sense in this kind of situation. To me, it doesn't make any sense to keep him. You might as well just kind of move on. Phil Jones versus Joe Gomez in a fight. I'd always back Joe Gomez, especially after how he kind of picked up Raheem Sterling. Isak isn't a Liverpool player, says Dan. Not yet, but I think it's probably going to happen, especially with this Instagram post, which is essentially a cry for help to a certain degree. Hugo would pick Tsimikas over Robertson. Do you know that player is a Greek wonder kid that moved to Lisbon? Whoever that player is, I've not heard of that player, but I will need to look them up. What position does said player play? Is he like a striker or like a midfielder? Fish says hello. Robertson is old, says Hugo. Older than Tsimikas. Apparently he's only 30. Like I thought he was like 35. But he must have been around for a while. Fish says, breaking news, Harry has been fined £890 for what? Please do tell. Please do tell. He's a right back, okay. One to keep an eye on then. I've not heard of this player, but I will have to keep an eye on them. Will Isak land Liverpool? Will Liverpool land Isak? I think so. Durwood's happy that Isak finally broke the silence. Me too. I think at this point it was necessary. Arguably it might have been necessary earlier, but there's breaking the silence and there's absolutely smashing the silence to smithereens. And I think this is probably a case of the latter. But yeah, he's basically saying, they've lied to me and I'm never going to play for them ever again. So it's best everyone just move on. I don't know what more he could do at this point. Diogo says Robertson's got way more experience than Tsimikas, which is what I prefer for the backup. I hear you. Isak, Ekitike, Salah. Would you put Isak on the left there, or would you flip? Would you flip Ekitike and Isak around? I trust Ekitike. We don't need Isak. Just a backup for Hugo. What's the point? I think the thing is he's available and he wants to come, and it's perhaps not often that a top 3 player in their position is desperate to join you. So I think they're just trying to take advantage of the situation. Like if Isak didn't desperately want to come, I don't think Liverpool would have been desperately in for another £100 million striker. But I think it's more like the situation has kind of fallen on their lap and the door is open, the window is open, and it might not be open next year. So I think they're just trying to take advantage of the situation. And also, to be honest with you, I think, and I appreciate they don't play the same position, but I think Isak is the Salah replacement Well, with respect to making up the goals in the team, he's the Salah replacement. I know he's not a right winger, but with respect to making up the goals in the team, I think Isak's a Salah replacement. Um, because to be fair, we always complain about, myself included, why do we never bring in the replacement when the existing is still there? So I think that's what they're doing. So Isak will replace Salah again, not on the right wing, but I mean from an output perspective, and then Salah will probably go at the end of next season. That's what I reckon. Jim says Panathinaikos signed David Calabria and is also close to signing Renato Sanchez with the money that they got from the right back. Nice. Those are some pretty good signings. Can't lie. Renato Sanchez in particular. He was kind of the next big thing a few years ago, but still a big name. Still a big signing. So yeah, it will be interesting to see what happens with those. Okay, I thought Robertson was more like 30 and Simicast was more mid 20s. Um, so maybe I googled it like 2 years ago, and then those numbers are stuck in my head. Robertson can play centre back, but I can't lie, nothing makes me more anxious and worried and concerned and fearful for my life than when I see Robertson at centre back. Because he plays centre back as a left back, which really grinds my gears. Like, keeper will clear the ball, and as a centre back, he'll just run for it, and it's like, bro, you're not left back now. Like, have a bit more discipline. He'll just run for it, and then striker will get in behind him and score. So he can play centre back, but nothing scares me more. Yeah, I think Jim supports Panathinaikos because he's a Greek, but also Arsenal. You put Isak left wing, okay, interesting. Should have gone for Luka, the 6'7" striker. we're just we're just picking all the tall players. Is LeBron James available? LeBron James loves Liverpool, right? He owns Liverpool shares. Let's stick him up front. I think the funny thing is as well, like if you're the opposition and you just see this team full of giants, it must be a bit intimidating. Just seeing that. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. LeBron James. Diogo wants Shaquille O'Neal up front. Yeah, Michael Jordan centre back. Take care, Jim. Enjoy your evening. I think he does. I think he does. I think he is a minority shareholder. I think he might be. I don't know if he's a minority shareholder in Liverpool or in FSG. One of those two. But yeah, you quite often see him in like the Liverpool training gear and all that stuff. So yeah, he does have some sort of affiliation. We should have got a Milinkovic Savic, another goalkeeper. Yeah, we've got a load of goalkeepers. You got Alisson, Mamadashvili, Armin Pesci, Freddie Woodman, Yaros, who's on loan. Pitulaga, is he still there? But yeah, we've got quite a few. Cengiz says, "Say we win, Manchester lose." To be fair, if Manchester lose, it's always a good day. Irrespective of which Manchester that is. Isaac Toure is a good young centre back who is 6'9". The players are getting taller and taller. We started at about 6'5", and then we went on to 6'6", and then we went on to 6'7". Now we reached 6'9". Are we gonna reach like Kane and the Big Show in like 5 minutes? Isaac Torre. Okay, let's have a look. Isaac Torre. He's over 2 meters tall. Now I don't know about you, but he looks pretty tall to me. Yeah, he's massive. He'd certainly win a lot of duels. Cengiz says, say Arsenal better than Man United. Oh, Arsenal are way better than Man United. Arsenal are significantly better than Man United. Yeah, that's it. He owns a stake with FSG. Yeah. Yeah, you quite often see him in like Liverpool training gear and all that. Wish I can own a steak. Is that like a sirloin steak or ribeye steak, or is that a steak in Liverpool? Who are you hoping we draw in the Champions League next week? To be honest, I don't know if this is a bit naive or a bit obnoxious, but I'm more of a bring on whoever. I'm more of a bring on whoever. We will deal with them. That is probably a bit obnoxious. But yeah, I'm just whoever it is. We will face them. Part of me kind of feels like we do get more. Part of me hopes we get PSG because I feel like we need to play them again just to get more used to their style. Especially when they didn't have the best preseason. I know they beat Spurs the other day, but just about. And also that's Spurs, so it doesn't count. But yeah, I'd love to draw PSG, but I wouldn't say I'm afraid of anyone. It's just whoever we get, I'm sure we'll deal with them. Is there anyone in particular you want us to get, or anyone in particular you do not want us to get? Yeah, LeBron's shoes. I think we had like a LeBron training top as well. Last year, almost champion, on the end lose. Yeah, this is Arsenal. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see if they can. 66 not looking happy on the bench. 66 not looking happy on the bench. But yeah, we'll see if they can go one step further. Kevin Gardella. Okay. I love how we're just getting taller and taller. Kevin Gardella is like so tall that the camera like cuts off his face. that's how you know you're tall. You can't even fit all of them in the shot. What's his height? (6'9". Oh, you can't say it. 6'9". Pretty tall. Fish says I. Platini don't like England. Is that Michel Platini. To be honest, quite a few people probably don't like Platini. Daniel Mason says you need a Liverpool top. Indeed, I do. Or the new one at very least. Derwood does not want PSG until later. We need to get our feet wet. Oh, that's a fair point. We need to get our feet wet with all the new players. If we get PSG and don't win, Chelsea will feed off that. I hear what you're saying. Yeah, I'm perhaps trying to get our feet wet in the deep end, in the sea, but I'm excited. I'm excited either way. Champions League is my favorite competition. I prefer Champions League over Premier League from an excitement perspective. Somebody's getting sent off for Osasuna. I have no clue who this is, but someone is getting sent off. 6'11" on FC25. Dortmund, AC Milan, Club Bruges. I think we'll get. How many fixtures is it in like the first little stage? It's like 8 games or something at the start. I think it was 8 games last year. I think last year we won every single game in the group stage, apart from the last one, which we didn't really bother with. But yeah, super excited for Champions League. When Champions League's back, we don't have to watch Osasuna anymore. It could be Barcelona. It's Bretones. Ah, did we lose the last one? I thought we drew the last one. But I think you're right. We lost the last one. But we still finished top, right? We did still finish top of the group. Hugo Ekitike hopes we get Barcelona. I wouldn't mind that. Yeah, I think overall I wouldn't mind maybe a couple easy teams to start with and then some of the bigger teams later on. My only concern is I don't only want the bigger teams in the knockout stages, because then that feels like a bit too late. Maybe the best balance is a couple of easy teams at the start of the group stage and then maybe some harder teams sprinkled in here and there. Yeah, I still finished first. Rather Real Madrid than Barcelona. Well, if that does happen, I think 66 maybe faking an injury for that particular game. Barcelona, PSG, AC Milan. Imagine if we get those. Ooh, that will be fun. Yeah, that's what I like. That's what I like about the Champions League. Who is Kusen? Is he the player we were looking at earlier? Take care, fish. Enjoy your evening. Oh right, Leverkusen. I was thinking, who's Kusen? Is Kusen the guy we were googling before? Leverkusen. Yeah, I wouldn't mind them. Wirtz and Frimpong playing their former team. Take care, Hugo Ekitike. I'll probably go in like 2 minutes. This match is pretty much finishing now. We're on the 7th minute of injury time. Please go against Newcastle. Good to see Madrid and yellow are playing well this season. I expected more goals, I can't lie. But it is what it is. Yo, Ten Hag, he manages Leverkusen now, so I wouldn't mind playing them. Can't lie. But yeah, full time. from this wonderfully high-scoring game. Real Madrid won. They won with a penalty. Kylian Mbappe penalty. 66 didn't really do much. 66 got substituted off at the 67th minute. 66 was sulking on the bench. Yeah, literally Ben Merchant team. But anyway, that is that game done with. Take care, Derwood. Have a good afternoon and evening. I'll probably be back Friday. Chelsea game, I think. Chelsea, Chelsea West Ham should be back for that. Yeah, Ten Hag did used to manage Ajax back in the day. I think he went Ajax, Man United, and then Leverkusen. So he has been around a little bit. But yeah. Is that Marco Overmars? He was quite a player back in the day. Yeah, I remember him Barcelona, possibly Arsenal, those types of teams. But yeah, cool. Anyway, I'm gonna scram now, but I'll be back on Friday, 8 o'clock UK time. Chelsea versus West Ham. Should be fun. Cool. Take care, guys. Have a nice evening. See you soon. Take care, Diogo. You too.